Today we're going to take a look at how to boost your income with this sales script. This script is made up of three parts. There's a part to create a real relationship, a part to introduce the script, and a closing part. This is where you sell the PPV to your subscriber. This is where you capitalize on your Onlyfans. On average, messages account for 1/3 of the revenue you'll generate, so it's a step not to be neglected. The script is extremely important. We're going to start by creating a real relationship with our subscriber. Why create a real relationship in the first place? The aim of creating this real relationship is to establish a dynamic of trust with your subscriber and ensure that there's a connection between you and him. Of course, the connection will only be on his side. You've got lots of subscribers to manage, but the aim is for you to be really important to him. We start with a welcome message. Thank you for subscribing with the video. It's best to say this on video, of course. So make a video with your model. The model simply films herself taking a selfie with her phone in which she thanks the subscriber. She doesn't have to say his first name, etc. It's still an automatic message. But the aim is to thank the subscriber for subscribing on video. With a little text underneath, you can directly introduce the subscriber's first name and so on. This will create a semblance of a connection. During the discussion, immediately ask for his first name and nickname. So why his nickname? Nicknames are extremely powerful in seduction. When someone gives someone a nickname, it immediately creates a feeling of closeness with the person. So you can either ask them for a nickname, that's what they usually call you, what's the nickname they give you, or you can create a nickname yourself. I recommend that you create a nickname for her straight away because you'll be the only person to call her that. So right away you'll be a truly unique person. Next, how did you find me? This is really important to get data. So you know where the subscriber comes from, you know if they're from TikTok, Reddit, dating apps and so on. So that's not a bad way of collecting data. Then the aim is to find out about his tastes. So you're going to ask him what he likes about you, what he prefers about your model. In this way, you'll be able to promote the model with him in a way that he'll appreciate. Because if your subscriber tells you what I really like is your breasts, well, you're not going to send him photos of your eyes. Instead, you're going to send him photos of your cleavage. You're going to send him photos where your breasts are in the spotlight. And that's actually interesting because first of all, the subscriber is going to feel really listened to. He's going to think, fuck, that's good. She's listening to me. She knows my tastes, etc. She's adapting to me. And on top of that, the guy's going to shine. Because if he's got a real fantasy about tits and you're sending him little necklines, etc., then he's more likely to shine with you. And the goal is to make him shine. Then the goal is to know his life and what he's like. Why get to know his life? Simply so you can write it all down and bring pieces of his life back into the discussion. It's really important. You're going to post questions about where he is, where he lives, does he have a family, how old he is, does he have a dog, and so on. Obviously, you don't want it to sound like an interview. Just do it naturally, as if you were chatting to someone at a party, for example, or on a date. In between 4 or 5 sentences, you can ask a little question like this, for example. Don't hesitate to share your tastes and your life with the subscriber. Then, once you've got all this data, it's absolutely essential that you write down his whole life on an Excel file or a doc, etc., so that you can put pieces of his life back into a new discussion in the near future. That way the guy will feel really listened to. He'll think, damn, that's good, she's got it all down, etc. The aim is to ask as many questions as possible while playing with the subscriber to make the info seem natural. Again, don't make it sound like an interview or an interrogation. You're going to set up a method to destabilize the subscriber, alright, and to actually dominate him or her. This method is called the sexual push and pull, and it's extremely powerful. So when you're having a fairly platonic discussion with him, all of a sudden you're going to sexualize the discussion. Then, all of a sudden you're back to a platonic discussion. For example, yes, you live in a house or an apartment, and the subscriber will reply, well, I live in an apartment. And then you're going to answer, yeah, and what's the room where you'd prefer us to make love in this apartment? The subscriber is going to get a bit twitchy. He's going to say, damn, this is getting hot. He'll answer you and then you'll say, okay, great. Do you live alone or with family? And in fact, thanks to this, you're going to heat up the discussion and cool it down all of a sudden. Emotionally, the subscriber is going to say, oh shit, wait a minute, she warmed me up and now she's warming me down. He's going to question himself, he's going to become fragile, he's going to become hyper vulnerable, and in fact he's going to be emotional. And when you make someone emotional, it's much easier to manipulate them. Why do you manipulate them? To dominate the conversation. In fact, the aim is to get him where you want him to be within a conversation, of course. Next, we'll look together at how to introduce the script. It's very important to know whether you can script in the present moment. So now you've guessed your subscriber's fantasies, you know a little about his personality, his preferences for models and so on. Now you're going to ask what he's doing right now. Why do we ask this? To check if the subscriber is available. if you enter the script directly without asking if he's available. And he's not available, when you reintroduce the script shortly afterwards, it won't seem very natural. The aim here is to find out if he's available, and if he's not, then you just say, I was here to check in, I'm out with some friends, I can't wait to talk to you again, and so on. And then all of a sudden you don't come across as a slacker who just wants to sext her. You come across as someone who wants to check in, who really wants to build a real relationship with the person. And then all of a sudden, the person is going to say to themselves, she's just checking in, so wait a minute. She's a real girl, a real person, a real human being. She could be my girlfriend. It may sound crazy like that, but I can assure you that there are guys who think like that. So obviously, if he's available, you can start playing with him by introducing a script. Now let's see how to set up the PTE sale and closing. Here you have a script structure that's very powerful, and I highly recommend you use it. So obviously you have keywords that correlate with a particular fantasy. In this case, breasts. So here's an example of a subscriber called Didier who likes breasts. So you're going to send him something like, I love it when people play with my chicks. I love it when people play with my breasts, for example. So what's really nice about this is that you're going to show a shared sexual interest. We can see that Didier loves breasts, so Didier loves to touch breasts, and that's just as well because the model loves to have her breasts touched. And right away, bam, there's a common interest. I know it may seem a little big as a common interest, but I can assure you that in the head of the guy who has half his hand in his kalbar, well, it works very, very well. They don't have to look too far. Then you invent a little storytelling. For example, I did an EV session 2 days ago. Do you want to see the results? Bam! The person replies, ah yeah, I can't wait, go ahead, send me a photo or a video. Then you send them a free PPV showing their breasts or cleavage. Obviously the aim is not to be too explicit. In this case, you're not going to send her nipples. Instead, you'll send her a photo of your butt or cleavage, for example. The aim here is to gradually raise the temperature of the conversation. Then the person replies, oh, that's just great, and so on. Oh, you're so good, and so on. Then you ask them a question, what would you like to do with all this? And then thanks to this question, the subscriber is going to project himself with you. And in marketing and closing, getting someone to project themselves with a service, a product, or even a fantasy is very, very powerful because the subscriber will absolutely want you. Once they see themselves with you, they immediately want you. In fact, it's as if they've experienced something with you for the first time. That's a powerful thing to do. When you confirm that he's excited, that he's really hot, etc., and you see that you can start, then you send out the first PPVs. So first of all, for the first PPVs, I strongly recommend that you start with a little photo or a little video, that's all, not too explicit, at a very low price, like 9-15 euros, something, voila, where you're going to get close to nudity, but not too close, at a very low price. The aim is to trigger a buying dynamic, because this is our first sale with the subscriber. We've put in place a whole psychological process beforehand to really get close to them. So now we're going to get into a purchasing dynamic, and to do that, very low prices exclusively with content that's not too explicit. So we're going to trigger the normalization of buying things on Onlyfans. Then we'll continue to warm him up, etc. Little by little. We'll send him more and more explicit videos, each 2 or 3 minutes long, for between 30 and 40 euros. And that's it. The aim is to gradually increase the price. So first you send him a little video for 30 euros, then 35, then 40. The goal, after all that, is to continue warming him up, sending him a little explicit video. So here, you really show off your attributes between 2 and 3 minutes, and the price shouldn't exceed 40 euros, because here we're going from a price of 9-15 euros to between 30 and 40 euros. So we're doubling the price, if not more. So likewise, we're gradually raising the price and gradually showing explicit videos too. After that, we keep playing with it, heating it up and so on. Then we'll send out a series of 2 or 3 similar videos. In between each one, there'll be a bit of discussion, of course, and between each video, we'll have to gradually increase the price and gradually explicitly too. So the first video you send out will cost 55 euros, then the second video you send will cost 75 euros, and then the third at 90, 100 euros. The aim is to really heat it up and graduate the price at the same time. That way, the person is in a sexual euphoria and doesn't realize how much the video costs. Sometimes he doesn't even look at the price, just so you know. So don't hesitate to raise the price gradually while warming him up just as gradually. Of course, between each video and even after sending this series of videos, please ask him not to ejaculate. Why? Because if he ejaculates, that's it. He won't buy any more videos during this sexting season. And above all, he won't be able to finish the script. And the goal really is to keep him from the beginning to the end of this script. I'll explain why later. So there you go. Just ask him not to come. You tell him, baby, please don't finish. I want us to finish together. I'm having too good a time with you. I really don't want this to end, etc. Really, you're begging him not to ejaculate. I can assure you he'll make an effort not to. Then you send him a final video of at least 5 minutes where the model simulates an orgasm. So this is going to be a video. It's going to be a bit of a finale to the fireworks. So here the model likes the package, writes, voila. She's making an incredible face, she's getting herself into an incredible state, and you charge between 100 and 200 euros for this video. Why between 100 and 200 euros? Because it's the finale. The subscriber is this close to ejaculating, you've begged him not to, now he's this close to doing it. So I can assure you that the price won't be a problem. He's already entered into a very, very, very consistent buying dynamic. He's not far off 100 or 200 euros. So, of course, between each video delivery, if you see that the subscriber is grumbling a little about the price, don't hesitate to sell off a little. The aim is, of course, to adapt to the subscriber's wallet or desire. There you have it. Some subscribers are very rich, but don't want to spend more than 500 euros a week or a month on Onlyfans. You have to respect that. Obviously, the aim is to get them to spend as much as possible, but if you see that they're really too incorruptible about it, well, feel free to adapt. Then, once the guy has bought that video of that exceptional orgasm for between 100 and 200 euros, you send him a photo of you or a satisfied video where you thank the subscriber for his name of pleasure and tell him you can't wait to do it again with him. I told you 2 or 3 seconds ago that it's absolutely essential that the subscriber stays from beginning to end. And in fact, the goal, if you like, is to get that subscriber hooked on you. And when you send him that thank you video, and especially that video where you simulate an orgasm, followed by the video where you thank him, in the subscriber's mind, it's as if you've made love. He has had an orgasm, the model has had an orgasm, and what's more, the model thanks him and absolutely wants to do it again with him. So he'll equate having an orgasm with a sexting session with you. He'll get used to it, and the next orgasms he wants to have will inevitably be with you. That's why it's so important to have him from start to finish and to respect this script structure. You should also know that the more a subscriber spends with you, the more he'll be hooked. That's what we call the investment principle in marketing. So, in fact, it's exponential with good buyers and good tippers, because this kind of subscriber, who will really buy everything within a script, will become good buyers and good tippers. Generally speaking, these people stay for a very long time, giving you money on an ongoing basis within your Onlyfans. Half your sales are made by good buyers. Well, listen, thank you very much for staying to the end. I've done my homework on the script. On my Telegram, you'll find a link to download a ready-made script with a structure you can copy directly. So this will be on my Telegram. You'll find the link in the description of this video. You're also welcome to watch my video on chatting. It's a complete training course on chatting. Feel free to like it and subscribe if you like it. It really helps me. And if you have any questions, you can ask them directly in the comments of the video. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See you next time.